We are back with another episode of Nikki's Handbag Encyclopedia. This is a series I started so I can give you a quick review of a handbag in under 10 minutes as an avid handbag lover with over 15 years of experience. Sometimes we just need to get to the meat and potatoes of a handbag without the long-winded stories that you know I love spending 25 minutes talking about why I got the bag, how I got the bag, any drama that came with the bag, and maybe perhaps a deal on what I got the bag. Sometimes you just want to know the specs, you know, the usability, etc. This is my way of saving you time without combing through the Reddit, the purse form, the YouTube, the IG and TikToks, which usually are short form videos under a minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Like, you can't really make an informed decision based on that short form video. If you are a longtime subby, go ahead and just jump right to the beginning of the bag review, which I'll timestamp down below for you. If you are new, welcome. I'm glad you found me. I hope this video is going to be very helpful for you. Do drop me a comment down below so I can welcome you to my channel. Subscribe for more handbag reviews, travel, shopping content, where I share my best tips and tricks with you. And of course, you got the corgi running around making a lot of noise. I will be covering the structure of this video, a quick brand overview, some interesting information, history, and facts that I found online that I wanted to share with you. And because these are indie brands, I think it is important to get to know these mom and pop shops on a personal level. Then I'll do a bag rundown and tour, show and tell, talk about the pros, cons, and functionality. We'll cover also the price to value ratio. Again, I don't have a mathematical equation here. This is more subjective and my opinion. And lastly, we'll wrap it up with the je ne sais quoi of this bag and what I think about it. Is it worth your money? And if there is enough of a pizzazz or oomph to the bag for you to purchase from them. The bag we are covering, as you saw in the thumbnail, I had it in a dust bag, but it is the Clara bag in the coffee color. So let's get right into it. Started back in 2009 by Scott and Amy Hawks as a shoe brand. They then moved over to making watches with leather straps that are pretty simplistic looking and very gender neutral, which they still produce today, even though that is no longer their focus. They pivoted to making handbags and accessories back in 2019. And I did find a YouTube video where they did do an interview briefly about their journey up until the watchmaking day. The video was from 2018 and they didn't really start focusing on leather goods till 2019. So there was not an interview that I could find that talked more about the accessories and the inspiration behind that, unfortunately. The most interesting, noteworthy news actually happened this year, just a few months ago, back in February of 2026. Is that they secured a $16.5 million deal, meaning that they actually sold off 1/3 of their company to a private equity firm called Point King Capital. And when I say millions and millions of dollars, this is actually an Australian dollar, since this is an Australian brand. This puts them at a valuation of $50 million, as they are expecting or have generated about $40 million annual revenue, which is kind of crazy. Needless to say, they obviously found a lot of success in the past few years. Another bit of interesting information I found that I didn't know previously prior to doing a deep dive and research on this is that the owners, one of the owners at least, Scott Hawks, is friends with the owners of Status Anxiety, another Australian brand. I did cover them in a different video. I have a whole slew of the horse and Australian brand video focused on, so maybe I'll create a playlist and link that for you above and down below. Now, Scott has, seems like they have some sort of ownership or affiliation with that Status Anxiety brand as well. I'm not 100% sure. I just found that information in an article. It was just like one sentence. All of this information I did find online, and I will list all of the sources down below. Now, moving on to based on my personal experience. When I first purchased from the horse, it was back in March of 2024. I remember this very vividly because I did order the ginger bag and the clementine. Back then, they were still operating and shipping directly from Australia, which took, I want to say, a little over a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks before I received the bag here in the United States. When I received it, I was standing in the middle of my Chicago house in a torn up living room. So this is a little emotional to me, but it was due to like a pipe bursting and flooded basically 2 floors of my house. It was, again, like I said, an emotional time for me to be opening this particular bag because it did bring a lot of joy into my horrible trauma. That's like trauma. It's bringing trauma back to my day. And I also vividly remember that I was incredibly impressed with the Clementine bag, which is not what I'm focusing on today. We're focusing on the Clara, but I do feel like it was relevant for me to bring this up. I immediately grabbed my laptop and I ordered 2 bags initially, and I immediately ordered 3 more bags, which included the Clara bag. Since then, they did set up shop in the US, like a warehouse. So for you to purchase today, you will receive your bag in probably 2 to 3 or 5 business days. For them to set up shop here in the US makes complete sense, as due to that private equity deal, they did mention that 50% of their sales came from the United States. Based on their FAQ page, the leather that they use and source are LWG certified and mainly from Italy and Korea. However, their bags are either made in China or India. So let's focus on the Clara bag. As I said, I will make a separate video on the Clementine. I know there's a lot of videos out there already, so I wanted to start with the Clara bag since, you know, it is a pretty cute, popular bag, but nobody has talked about it as much as the whole internet talked about the Clementine bag. Let's start with a quick tour and spin of the Clara bag in the espresso color. As I'm talking here, I will be popping up screenshots and or B-rolls so that you can see what I'm talking about in much more detail, but you can see the front of the bag and the back of the bag is only differentiated by the logo being embossed into the leather itself. The strap is adjustable. However, this is truly designed to be a shoulder bag, right? This will not be long enough for you to crossbody, and the straps are not attached by D-rings. They are sewn directly onto the bag itself. Now, the bottom of the bag is structured, but it's not like super structured. You can feel the cardboard that they use on the bottom of the bag, and there are no feet. But this being a armpit bag or just a very cute shoulder bag, I don't think you need, even though I always prefer to have feet on the majority of my bags, but this one, I don't think it's necessary, so to speak. Now, to open the bag, you just unzip it, and there is only one zipper. I've said this many, many times. When it comes to zipper bags, I always prefer to have 2 zippers so that you can easily, regardless if you're left-handed or right-handed, or if you're wearing the bag a certain way, you can easily open the bag without much thought to it. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, it's not, and it's a relatively small bag. But for bigger bags, 100% would advocate for 2 different zippers. Now, the interior is 2 open compartments with 1 divider right here, but it's also a zip as well. It is fabric lined, and I do love, which is a big pet peeve of mine, for companies to not stitch down their fabric. In this case, it is completely stitched down, which gives it a much more seamless look where it's not just a weird piece of fabric flying and flapping around. This one, because they are an Australian brand, and I would think that the standards would be the same throughout every country, would be to imprint or have a little tag saying, hey, this bag is made in China or India. They do not have that whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure I went through every corner of this interior to see if they have some sort of tag. And no, they don't indicate where this bag was made. I do love how that there's little tabs right here on the side where you can hold on to and kind of open the bag with, which makes it very smooth. The opening is much smoother than the closing of the bag, the zipper wise. I probably have to just wax it down. Is it the highest quality zipper? No, it's not. And I know the gold standard with a lot of zippers is the YKK zippers. This one is no name brand, I don't know. And then the leather tab itself is pretty generic as well. The only other hardware you will find on this bag is the buckle for the shoulder strap. So these are all very generic pieces. They're not embossed or debossed with their name on the side of the logo, which personally I usually like because it makes it more customizable or it's proprietary to their brand. So these are all pretty generic pieces. The pricing does reflect that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I completely understand why they choose to use generic pieces versus customize this, customize that, which will add to the cost of the bag. The edging of the bag has been done incredibly well, both on the strap and on the bag itself. I have used this for over 2 years now, and you can see the wear and tear is just impeccable. Other than the leather softening, and you can see there's a little bit of an imprint because the leather has softened and kind of sunk in. The leather smell does punch you in the face pretty significant. Now, I do want to address how there has been quality control issues with the leather, that some of you have received pieces like the clementine and other pieces where, especially the clementine in the new colorways, where the chemical smell is like intoxicating and people's eyes were watering. I've bought a lot, and during the middle stint where people are receiving terrible quality leather pieces, that I did order like a mini clementine, which I have since then let go because it was too small for my massive hands. I never came across any of that issue. So it makes me sad that they were trying to keep up with demand, and they probably used multiple different manufacturers, and the quality control obviously wasn't there for them to like pack it up. And I've talked to the horse, right? They were, I can't say today, this was almost 2 years, well, a little less than 2 years ago, but they were a 6 or 7 person shop. They were packaging all of their items themselves, the employees at their office. And I haven't talked to them since that initial interaction. Everything I'm talking about today, all the bags I have purchased myself with my own money from the horse. They have never sent me a free bag or anything. And for that many people to receive bags with a terrible chemical smell, that tells me one or two things. One, they probably outsourced to a third party for them to do all of the packaging and shipping, which obviously they don't. They're not going to care if it smells bad, or maybe they have very little time limited to those bags and they just ship it out because that's their job. They're paid to do, right? Their job is not to do quality control. Number two would be the employees themselves are still packaging the items, and they just didn't care because demand was so high. They couldn't afford to scrap an entire batch, because that's a lot of money for you to scrap, 2, 3, 5,000 bags all at once. That's a chunk of change. And then, or they just like, we got to fulfill these orders. We cannot wait any longer. We have to ship these items out, and these chemical smells, it is what it is, take it or leave it, right? So I don't know. A lot of you have dropped comments down below telling me that was an issue, but personally, I have never experienced anything like that. Every piece I've got smells very heavily of leather. So if you were one of those people that got a very intoxicating smelling bag, drop me a comment. How did the horse respond to your inquiry? Did they give you a refund, or did they kind of just ignore you? Did they make it right by you? I would love to hear about that. So enough of a rant here, but I would just tell you I had nothing but good experience with their leather quality. It feels phenomenal. Like I said, I purchased 2 and then bought like 5 or 6 more right after that because I was so impressed with the leather quality, and of course for the price that it is. Talking a little bit about the pros, cons, and functionality, this is obviously not the most versatile bag, but if you do want to get creative with it, one, you can wear it as a clutch, right? That's a very cute, very inconspicuous clutch. The shoulder bag, the armpit bag that is designed to be. Or perhaps if you want to use this kind of like a Chanel walk, where I use it as a catch-all, or perhaps I'm just running some quick errands. I don't want to lug around my massive travel tote or my work tote. This is a great kind of smaller bag for you to bring bag within a bag within a bag, if that makes any sense. When it comes to the price to value ratio, I would say 100% is worth it. This is retailing at $199. And when I purchased it, it was pre-tariffs, pre-tax and whatever. So it was relatively cheaper than what it is today. But even at retail price, I would say this is definitely worth it. Again, with all of the mid-range brands out there, just price increasing hike after hike, over $500. This thing is under $200. The most comparable bag I would say is the Row, I think it's called the Dahlia bag. And that obviously is gonna be $2,000. So add another zero to that. And it is a much skinnier bag, so not as much capacity for you to put stuff. It like literally is the size of like 2 inches in terms of the depth or diameter, the depth of the bag. When it comes to the je ne sais quoi, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. If you really like the Row kind of vibe or something very simple, this is definitely for you. Is it the most interesting bag out there? No, it's definitely not. The Clementine, in my opinion, definitely gives you that oomph and that punch in terms of the je ne sais quoi, how it's a little bit different. This one, yeah, if you are that cool girl where you've got that whole entire, tank top with baggy jeans, your hair up in a bun here with cool sunglasses, this is your type of bag. If you want to just purchase it because of the simplicity and the leather quality and the construction for under $200, or perhaps you're just starting your handbag journey and you don't really know what your style is, this is a perfect place to start to see if you like armpit bags, if you like shoulder bags. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful with the quick review of the horse Clara bag in the coffee color. If you want me to hurry up and do a review very similar to this for the Clementine bag, do drop me a comment down below. If you have any questions, you know what to do. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Don't forget to go check out that entire playlist where I have done similar reviews on other mid-range indie brands. Again, I'm slowly chipping away to make as many reviews as I can for you. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hype, whatever it is, the holy trinity of YouTube engagement so that you can help me out and support my channel as I continue to make content for you. Life is hard. I want to help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see you all next time.